Hey, what's happening guys, Chris here with another guide on another Battlefield weapon, and today I'm going to be putting the M1911 Extended under the spotlight, a heavily modified version of the legendary sidearm, which can be equipped on the tanker, pilot or support classes as a primary weapon. So as you've probably gathered, the M1911 Extended in Battlefield 1 is basically a pimped up M1911 pistol. It's had a few things added to the base design to improve its general effectiveness and ergonomics, transforming the normal handgun that would traditionally be used as a sidearm into a pistol carbine with a higher ammo capacity. Now, despite featuring in the game, the M1911 never actually had any sort of official pistol carbine type attachments in real life during the Great War. But that's not to say the gun technically couldn't have been manually modified using bits and pieces from other weapons or random scrap parts to build a new and improved version of the classic M1911, which we can sort of see in Battlefield 1. A custom wireframe shoulder stock's been added to the back of the pistol's receiver, allowing for a steadier aim whilst lining up shots on target. And a wooden foregrip's also been attached to the underside of the gun's barrel too, helping to improve the carbine's ease of use, giving the wielder something to grasp onto to control the weapon's kick when firing it off, along with making it a much more comfortable thing to hold. Though other than having a bunch of useful things slapped onto it, the M1911 Extended fires the same 45 ACP bullet that the standard pistol does. But of course, this one's got an extended ammo capacity, clues in the name, bumping that mag size up to 14 rounds as opposed to 7, pretty much doubling it and giving the user some extra firepower. So the M1911's gone through quite a lot of changes during its transformation, making it a much more viable gun for frontline use. The M1911 pistol, being the grandfather of American semi-automatic handguns, was created in 1911 by John Browning, and ever since that point in time, the weapon stood out from the crowd and gained the title of being an extremely successful and legendary handgun, dominating the military market and proving to be a very reliable rugged sidearm that would go on to see action in loads of major wars and battles, ranging from the Great War in the early 1900s, leading right the way up to the conflicts of present day. As time's gone on, people have worked on ways to further develop and improve Browning's pistol by making attachments and accessories that allow the user to customize their M1911 to fit a desired role, or just make it more comfortable to use. These days, there's a lot of advanced things that can be added to the base model, from laser sights to chunky rubber grips. But back when the pistol first popped up in the world, this sort of technology was pretty much non-existent, and your options were extremely limited. It's likely that the M1911 Extended in Battlefield 1 is modelled on the Lebman 1911 machine pistol built after the Great War. Basically a fully automatic conversion of the normal gun with extended mags and other attachments, which would actually go on to be used by John Dillinger, along with other gangsters and criminals in the 1930s. Of course, it's not fully automatic in the game, still grounding it as a possible World War I weapon, but it looks pretty similar and functions as a semi-automatic pistol carbine. I guess if Lebman could modify the M1911 for fully automatic fire in the years after the war, there's no reason why someone couldn't personalise a standard M1911 with a custom-made stock, foregrip and extended magazine during those earlier years whilst the war was in full swing. So the M1911 Extended can be used on 3 kits, both the tanker and pilot vehicle classes, along with the support class, as of the June 2018 update. The gun could be equipped as a primary weapon, but you'll need to reach the pilot rank of 10 before you'll be able to do so. It might take a bit of grinding, which will probably seem like a lot of grinding if you don't tend to fly around in planes very much. But just keep accumulating points as a pilot by playing the objective and gunning down other planes and infantry, and once you get to rank 10, the M1911 Extended will be all yours. With the gun essentially being an M1911 pistol with attachments, it still fires off the same 45 ACP round, and so it still delivers the same sort of damage that the standard sidearm does, with a pretty respectable amount of close range damage, hitting values of 35 up to 6 meters, which drops down to under half of that damage of 15 at 33 meters and beyond. Basically translating over to a free hit kill up to 10 meters, but possibly taking up to 7 shots to drop an enemy further away at most. Unsurprisingly, the damage dealt is no different to the handgun. So this means that the M1911 Extended's actually got a bit more power than the others in close quarters, as a lot of the other tanker pilot guns can dish out a similar sort of damage over distance, but aren't capable of killing with just 3 shots in CQC. And so this also means that if you can plant 2 of those bullets in a nearby opponent's skull, then you'll inflict enough damage to take them out of the fight there and then, unlike the C96 and C93 carbines requiring an extra round to do so. The M1911 might hit pretty hard up close, but it's nothing special when it comes to power over distance. actually having less range than a few of the other pistol carbines, like the P08 artillery and C96 carbine, with them boasting a 6 meter advantage. The M1911's damage drops off a bit quicker than normal, and so despite having more close ranged appeal, the gun becomes a weaker alternative against players further away. It's not quite as bad as the C93 carbine or Emily Extended, which take an extra round to kill beyond 34 meters, but it's still not exactly the best either. The M1911 pistol fires at 300 RPM, and so the M1911 Extended's gonna fire at this rate too. No big surprise there. And this puts it on par with a few of the other pistol carbine type weapons like the P08 artillery and C96 carbine. But because the M1911 kills with one less bullet in CQC, this gives it a pretty nice advantage over the other similar guns within those closer ranges, helping to reduce the time it takes to kill an enemy and make it a more competitive choice for rushing the objective and advancing on enemy positions. It's definitely a more aggressive pistol carbine for this reason, giving it similar kind of close quarter kill times to the likes of the M1907 SL for the medic class, and its extra power up close allows it to compete with not just the other tanker pilot weapons, but quite a few of the main guns for the other classes too, beating most scout players outright, and having quicker kill times than a few of the medic rifles. It's still not really a dominant CQC weapon by any means, with most of the fully automatic assault and support guns having a clear edge over the M1911. But it's still much more effective than the other pistol carbines at these sort of ranges, but stray a bit further away and the gun's lack of power over distance becomes more of a problem. The fact that the M1911 also suffers from the lowest muzzle velocity of the pistol carbines, of just 250 meters per second, this makes it a trickier thing to use too, with its bullets travelling at a slower pace. You might need to lead a target's movements if you want to hit them further away, and in combination with having some of the slowest kill times beyond close quarters, none of these factors really make it a very good ranged weapon, as most other players in the game are going to have the upper hand, if they're not close by. Now, that stock and foregrip has definitely helped to improve the M1911's recoil pattern, reducing the vertical kick of the gun by 26% with a value of 1.7, and horizontally by 29% with a value of 0.5, making the extended variant a more accurate and stable version overall. But that's not to say the gun's going to perform better than the other pistol carbines, because it doesn't. The M1911 Extended still got a heavier recoil pattern, and although it's a bit more precise than its sidearm counterpart, the gun's still not exactly a very accurate thing to shoot. Within those closer ranges where the gun shines the most and performs at its best, this recoil is pretty manageable and shouldn't really give you any issues. But take on someone further away and that kick is probably going to give you more of a problem. Once again, this is another element that makes the M1911 a bit of a crappy thing to use over distance, as that heavier recoil is going to lower your accuracy, make it harder to land shots, and increase that already lengthy kill time if you miss, further limiting its effectiveness over range even more. The extended variant does have slightly less aim down sight space spread than the pistol, and combined with that lower recoil pattern, it should make it feel like a more usable weapon in ADS. Though the normal M1911 pistol actually has better hipfire spread, which can often prove to be more beneficial in close quarters. And although the M1911 Extended is a gun that's best suited for short range firefights, the box standard pistol can sometimes seem like a better option to have equipped up close, being able to use that lower hipfire spread to your advantage. Being the extended variant of the M1911, you're going to have some bigger magazines, bumping your ammo capacity up to 15 shots, so an extra 7 to play around with over the standard M1911, almost doubling your firepower and allowing you to take on more enemies one after the other without having to swap over those mags. In relation to the sidearm, this is a pretty nice bonus, and if you're restricting the gun's use within closer ranges, then you'll technically have enough shots to take down up to 5 players, which is quite a lot. But in comparison to some of the other pistol carbines, it's a kind of average amount for a pistol with an extended magazine. One of the best factors that the standard M1911 pistol has over the other secondaries is the fact that it's a very quick reloader, so you'd naturally expect the M1911 Extended to follow this trait too. However, the M1911 Extended actually has slightly slower reload times than the pistol, with a tactical reload of 1.6 seconds and an empty reload of 2.6 seconds. So although you've got more bullets to blast out, it's going to take a little bit of extra time to switch magazines when you need to. They're still not exactly long reload times, just not quite as snappy as the pistol, putting it more in line with the other carbine type weapons. But anyway, in conclusion, the M1911 Extended functions in a somewhat similar way to the M1911 sidearm, as you'd probably expect, dishing out more close range damage and generally being a better CQC weapon, but suffering at longer ranges due to a harsher damage drop-off along with a few other factors. The stronger bullets might hit harder up close, killing your victims in less shots, but that extra power has a few negative side effects that reduces the gun's effectiveness over range, lowering the muzzle velocity due to the heavier round, making it a tad harder to land shots over distance, and basically generating more recoil, making the weapon a trickier thing to control sometimes, which is less ideal for those mid to long ranged engagements. The lack of power over distance combined with these aspects pretty much makes the M1911 Extended a fairly rubbish gun to use against someone outside of those closer ranges. But because it's got a stock and foregrip attached, it's still going to seem a bit more functional to use than the M1911 pistol, giving it more of a well-rounded stature overall. The gun holds plenty of bullets and reloads at decent speeds, so it's quite reliable and rarely ever leaves you in an awkward position. There are some other pistol carbines that do a few things better, but as a whole, apart from it not really performing brilliantly against targets over distance, the weapon doesn't punish you too badly with any outstanding negative factors, as it can be a dependable gun so long as you know your limits and try to keep within those shorter sightlines whenever you can, engaging in gunfights when you think you're close enough to your target to take advantage of that higher close range damage output, killing fairly quickly and having plenty of ammo to seal the deal. So that's all I've got for you this time guys, hope you enjoyed the video, give me a like if you did, and make sure you subscribe if you want to see more Battlefield weapon guides and other stuff too. Thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you in that next episode.